Welcome everybody to a brand new video. Alright, first of all, before we get into anything, I just want to mention that you see my bong right here? It looks like it's brand new, right? Well, believe it or not, I actually used it a few times. I've used it twice so far. Once myself with someone else, and then I brought this to a party recently, and then I used it there again, and it was getting kind of dirty. There was a lot of resin at the down stem and this little part, the bowl. And so I looked online at ways to clean my bong because I knew that that was something I was going to have to do, and they recommended that I used alcohol, 91% isopropyl alcohol, and mix it with salt and put the pieces in there, or give the bong a quick rinse. And holy fuck, that worked. I mean, look at this. It literally looks brand new. It was really bad before this. I was honestly amazed. I did not expect it to work that well, but I just left it in there for about 10 minutes, gave it a quick scrub with a Q-tip, I believe it was. But anyway, what I want to talk about in today's video is some recent news that we got from Activision themselves. Recently, during a shareholders call, Activision announced that they made $800 million in the last quarter from microtransactions. That is absolutely insane. Almost $1 billion in the last 3 months alone, just off of microtransactions. That is just ridiculous. Someone like me isn't happy about this. However, I understand that Activision are a business. They are trying to make money. That is what every single business out there is trying to do. And as annoyed as I am about this, that they made so much money, which means that they're probably not going to stop, as pissed off as I am about it, I just have to say, from a business standpoint, congratulations to Activision. That is incredible. To be able to make that much money off of the microtransaction industry is seriously an impressive feat. I don't want to give Activision props for doing something like this because I think that the way they went of obtaining this revenue is completely fucking heinous and ridiculous. However, at this current point in time, it is not against the law what they're doing. They're simply just running a business and they're killing it. They are making so much money. So again, from a business standpoint, I have to say congratulations to Activision. You guys are fucking killing it in terms of revenue in these last 3 months. And to anybody who is a shareholder in Activision, I'm sure you are even more excited about this news. But I did check the stock price of the shares of the company, and they haven't actually gone up because of this news, which kind of surprised me. I thought that this news was going to create a sudden spike in the shareholder price because Activision are making so much money, so I thought that their company would be a little bit more valuable. However, I feel like they've sort of ruined their reputation a little bit. I even considered it myself. I considered investing in Activision as a business and buying shares because of this amazing news, but I don't know enough about the business so far. Maybe perhaps in the future I will invest in it, but right now I just kind of don't know how the business operates, so I don't want to invest in it. I don't feel comfortable. However, it definitely seems like something I might look into. I might read some annual reports, see how the business operates, see if I think it's a good investment, and who knows, I might put my money towards Activision. But anyway, they made a killing with microtransactions, and this is great news for Activision, of course. You know, everybody is super fucking happy about this if you're part of the company. They made $800 million in revenues, but for some reason they had to lay off 800 employees earlier this year. Well fucking done, Activision. You guys are making a killing, but you had no problem whatsoever laying off the employees from your company. However, this news is absolutely terrible for someone who actually plays Activision's games and wants to enjoy them in the future. This is especially terrible for Modern Warfare. I am almost convinced at this point that this game is going to be riddled with microtransactions. I honestly feel that they're going to double down, and it's going to be worse than Black Ops 4. And to some of you guys who might think, oh, they wouldn't do something like that to Modern Warfare, the game looks so good. Guys, Activision are a business. They have made $800 million in the last quarter from microtransactions. You seriously believe they are going to stop? Do you know how bad it would make Activision look if they had this incredible opportunity to make almost $1 billion? The chance that they have to replicate replicate the success, if they didn't do it again, you know how bad it would look for shareholders? Ultimately, that's what Activision cares about. They care about their shareholders. They care about the people who are invested in the company, who are trying to make money. They don't give a fuck about the consumer. And do I blame them? Not really. It's a lot of money, and I completely understand why they would continue to do these business practices. Do I agree with them? No, of course I don't. But they're a business. They are not going to stop. If you think that they're going to stop with Modern Warfare, a game that is so incredibly hyped right now, that so many people are going to be buying because it looks so good, do you really think they're not going to try and capitalize off of that and make sure that they heavily monetize this game, more so than Black Ops 4, I believe? Which is why I'm so torn at this point. When I heard this news that they made so much money off of microtransactions, it pretty much convinced me that this is not going to be the end. They are going to completely ruin Modern Warfare, which is slowly making me rethink my decision of whether or not I want to buy the game. Perhaps I will. I'm sure that I could pick it up on a discount from G2A or something like that. However, the moment they add game-changing weapons into those supply drops, I am quitting the game. I will not be playing it because I know it's going to happen. I'm going to enjoy the game. I'm going to play it for as long as I can until those microtransactions make their way in, and at that point, the game is going to be ruined for not just myself, but for everybody else who is playing the game as well. Unfortunately, this is the truth. This is how Call of Duty Modern Warfare is going to go. It is going to be riddled with microtransactions, and there is nothing we can do about it. And you guys might think that I have a pessimistic mindset about this game, and perhaps I do. Like, honestly, I would bet money, I would put money down saying that they are going to ruin this game with microtransactions. And that is very strange for me. If you know me in person, you know that I don't bet. I don't like to gamble my money, but I honestly feel like the odds would be so in my favor if I bet on the fact that they're going to implement microtransactions that change the game in a significant way. Like, it's going to happen. I guarantee you it will. It will not happen for the first few months. They are going to keep this game clean for the first few months until they get those good reviews, and as soon as those reviews are out, they're going to flick the switch and boom, there are going to be supply drops, there's going to be cosmetic items that you can buy in the store, and shortly afterwards, they will sneak those game-changing weapons in, and the game is going to go downhill. They're going to milk the ever-loving shit out of this Call of Duty cash cow because they know it makes a ridiculous amount of money. Unfortunately, the people who are buying these microtransactions are not the die-hard veteran players that we are, the people who pay attention to YouTube videos, etc. Unfortunately, the people who are buying these microtransactions are your average Joes who work 9-to-5 jobs, who have no idea what to put their money towards, so they just think, oh, I can buy an advantage in this game. I don't mind spending the $20 or however much money it takes to get weapons out of supply drops. These people who are purchasing these things are complete fucking idiots. You should not buy supply drops. You should not support these systems. However, unfortunately, the message that I'm making in this video to not buy supply drops will not get to the majority of people. The people who don't want to buy supply drops and know how bad it is won't buy them. They know that it's a ripoff. They know that it's a waste of money and that you shouldn't put your money towards this sort of system. However, people don't know this. The majority of people who are buying these microtransactions and buying supply drops don't know that the odds are against them. Unfortunately, gambling is an addiction, and a lot of people have fallen into it already. It's a part of pretty much every single big game at the moment, and it's so hard to escape. It takes a lot of willpower to be someone like me, to be someone like, I don't know, somebody else who doesn't buy supply drops. I know friends of mine who have spent hundreds of dollars on loot boxes in video games, and it's fucking ridiculous. I want to speak up to them and say how stupid it is, but why would I? It's not my business. They're gonna do it anyway. They don't give a fuck. I know I'm sort of ranting in this video, but ultimately what I want to say is that you should be super skeptical about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This game is going to have microtransactions. It is going to have loot boxes, and most likely it will have game-changing weapons or features in those loot boxes. And at that point, the game is going to go downhill. Once that happens, I'm pretty much going to quit the game, depending on how bad the system is. If there is a way to obtain those weapons without opening loot boxes, then I'll stick to the game. But if it's going to be like Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is at the moment, where the only way you can get those weapons is through loot boxes, I'm not going to play the game. It's going to be ruined. I am not going to suffer knowing that all of these weapons that I want to use cannot be obtained. It's not something I want to take part in. It's something that would just eat away at me mentally, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm simply going to support a game like Apex Legends that doesn't have a ridiculous pay-to-win scheme like Call of Duty does at the moment. I want to say vote with your wallet and don't buy supplier drops, but unfortunately, I don't even feel like that's going to work anymore. I feel like the damage is already done. Microtransactions are a part of video games, and I seriously don't see them going away unless legal regulations are set into place by the government or something to prevent loot boxes from being in video games. But honestly, the government are probably going to benefit off of this at some point in the future. The government has so much power, they're probably going to come over to these companies at some point and say, hey, we'll keep these legal if you give us a share of your profits. It's a fucked up world, and unfortunately, that's how things work. I think if you want to benefit from this system, I know that loot boxes seem horrible, and it seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to them. If you want to benefit from loot boxes, look into these companies, become an investor, and invest in the companies that are making a killing from loot boxes, that are creating a shit ton of revenue. Because that's the only way you can benefit from this, is becoming a shareholder. It's something that I might consider doing, even though it's unethical as fuck. But I think instead of complaining about things like I've done in this video, you can benefit from the changes. You can either sit there and let the changes happen and eat you alive, or you can take advantage of them and use them to your own benefit. If you invested in Activision because they're making a killing off of loot boxes, I would not judge you whatsoever. I mean, at the end of the day, we all gotta make money, and if Activision is going to make all that money, give us some of it. I'm going to check if Activision pays a dividend, because if they do, then I might seriously consider investing in them for the long term, because loot boxes are just such a huge business, and you know what? I want to make some of that money. If people are going to be stupid and continue to buy loot boxes, I want to make money off of them. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much the end of this video. I know that I was pretty much ranting throughout this entire thing, but I'm going to wrap it up here. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smack the like button. If you want to stay up to date with my content, please be sure to subscribe. I'll have my last video in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.